What's going on, guys? It's King Narakami, and today we're going to be discussing SMT V sales numbers, what we think it's going to sell, and we're also going to be talking about what the future of the Shin Megami Tensei franchise holds for us. So sit back, relax, and let's get it on. Hey guys, it's King Narakami, and today I have a special guest with me talking about SMT V sales and the future of the franchise. I've got Kuro for the Midnight Channel. How you doing, my friend?
Hey man, how's it going? I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's been a minute since I had you on, so figured it was about time to bring you back for a little bit. How's everything treating you so far? Are you excited for SMT V?
Dude, I am super hyped for SMT V. Every day I'm thinking about it.
You're not alone right there, man. I mean, there is not a second I wake up saying, oh my god, SMT V, it's coming out soon. What I wanted to discuss with you today, for all these fine people out here, is what we think Shin Megami Tensei V will sell, not just in Japan, and not just in the West, just in total, you know. And we got some other sales numbers that we can go over here in a second, but of course, SMT V is releasing on the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch is like the hottest console of this generation. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I will say in general that the Switch is probably doing the best right now.
And it's not all about like power or anything of the console. It's just almost everybody has this console. I mean, I got my little cousins that have it, and they don't have any other video game consoles.
Right,
so.
Exactly. Yeah, same here. The children that I know have the Switch, so a lot of people have the Switch.
But the children won't be able to play SMT V because it's rated M. This is more for like the people like me and you that kind of just, you know, we don't play a lot of Switch games per se, but we pretty much.
Yeah, fun fact: I only bought a Switch for Shin Megami Tensei V. I think I own like 6 or 7 games total. I
feel that. The thing we're going to talk about is the last 3 quote-unquote mainline games to release, and that includes Shin Megami Tensei 4 for Apocalypse or Final in Japan, and Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne Remastered, and we actually have the sales numbers for this right here. It looks like SMT 4 is the best-selling game in all the franchise. Were you aware of that, Kuro?
Yeah, I was aware of that, yeah.
Not only is it critically acclaimed, but it also sold well. It looks like it sold 184,000 units in its first week in Japan. Woo! That's some pretty strong numbers, don't you think?
Yeah, that's a good number for Japan in the first week. It's pretty good.
Oh, especially, yeah. It was 2013. It released on the Nintendo 3DS. It was immensely popular in Japan and over here in the West for the most part. So, pretty good numbers. Very well received and everything. Now, further down, we had SMT 4 Apocalypse release, and that did not do as well. It sold about half of the copies. Yeah, it sold about half the copies as SMT 4 did the first week.
I'm actually surprised it did even that.
Oh, yeah, man. 96,556 in its first week. Oof. Compared to 184?
Yeah.
Now, this is in Japan, like I said. That's not Western numbers. I don't think we've had any Western numbers for Apocalypse released here in the West at all. But what do you think caused that? I know it's a 3DS game releasing in 2016, but what do you think caused that?
I just think it was the appeal. I don't think that they really appeal to the Shin Megami Tensei community. A lot of people still see it, and they still don't see it as like another Shin Megami Tensei game. A lot of people don't like the tone or even the art. Although personally, I don't see anything wrong with it. I do see a lot of people really feel really strongly about that.
Apocalypse is definitely a divisive game in the Megaten community, but
definitely, yeah.
I wonder if people thought like it wasn't like it was like a what if scenario. Maybe that caused it. Maybe it's because it was a 3DS game released in 2016, or maybe it's a combination of both. Would you say both? Kind of.
Yeah, I'll say a combination of a lot of things. Because if you think about it, they did the same thing with Persona Q. Persona Q2 didn't sell good either, and it's also like a lot of similar factors as well.
Oh yeah, Q2 was a 3DS game released in 2018 in Japan, 2019 here in the West.
Yeah, like they have long since shut down. Like people already moved on. They're not doing all that stuff. So, yeah, crazy stuff.
Now, onto the newest mainline release, quote-unquote mainline. It's a remaster, but it actually did very well. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster sold 101,000 copies in Japan in its first week. Now, we don't have any numbers here for the West. I can only assume that doesn't mean it sold very well here. But 101,000 copies for a remaster? What do you think?
I think they thought they were gonna get more sales.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that they were expecting more sales for this game because in general, although Shin Megami Tensei 3 wasn't super sold originally, it had so many re-releases that it sold fairly well.
Right.
So I think they really expected this game to really sell crazy numbers. It's still really good numbers for a game like Shin Megami Tensei 3. It's still really good numbers, but I think they expected more.
Well, low cost, low effort. You put that in, the sales kind of speak for itself. But that's a discussion for, I'm sure we've discussed that 10 million times over. So now that we have these sales figures in mind, what do you think of SMT 5 when it releases here in less than 2 weeks, man? Do you think it's going to sell more than SMT 4? Do you think it'll be kind of down the totem pole? I want your thoughts.
Honestly, this is gonna be the best-selling Shin Megami Tensei game so far, excluding Persona. But I really think it's gonna do Persona numbers, like even something like Persona 4 or something like that. I think it's gonna do really good.
Do you think millions?
Yeah, over 1 million. I predict over 1 million. About 1 million, I will say.
Oh yeah, I think it'll definitely sell over 1 million.
The game.
Now, we know that Tokyo Mirage Sessions released in 2020, and it didn't really sell well, but I think SMT 5 is going to really surpass that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think there was a lot of negatives going already with that particular title being a re-release. It was very poorly advertised. The good features that it had for being an enhanced edition were actually pretty good, but even a Shin Megami Tensei fan, wasn't aware of some of the upgrades that they did and everything. So, personally, I think that although it's a good game, I don't think it was advertised correctly.
Now, I will ask, do you think this game has been advertised well? Do you think that's going to play a factor in, SMT 5 selling well or bad? Do you think it has more to do with the Switch install base that we have all across the world, or do you think it's more along the lines of people who are going to play Persona, who play Persona 5 and so on and so forth, will pick up this game because it's a new entry point into the series? What do you think is going to be the biggest deciding factor?
I don't know. I think it's going to be a mixture of a lot of things, because although we have new people from Persona and everything, I'm sure there are some people that are just fans of Nintendo games. I know there are some dedicated Nintendo fans that they get every Nintendo release, whenever a new Nintendo game comes out. So I feel like that's gonna be an influence. But also on the other hand, you look at people like the Persona fans again. So it's gonna be a bunch of different things. I wouldn't necessarily think of the advertisement, although they have a lot of trailers so far. I can't necessarily say that the advertisement has been good on the West.
Oh no, definitely not. It has not.
We had one English trailer so far, which is cool because it was the reveal. They have all the voice actors and everything. But I really expected the final. If it doesn't sell super well in the West, I don't really think there's gonna be anything. I mean, it certainly feels like sometimes Shin Megami Tensei is neglected. But I think to us, SMT, and the reason why, although they doesn't sell as well, they just don't. They never caught the series or anything, And I don't think they're gonna kill it because one game doesn't sell well. Because if that was the case, SMT would have died a long time ago. Because although they have some pretty best-selling, really good games, they also have some games that really didn't sell well. So I think Atlus does put Megaten, the main franchise, as
So, do you think that if you were to get one new game, be it a new game, a remaster, if the game does sell well, what do you hope Atlas will do, especially since next year is an anniversary year for the SMT series? What do you want to see?
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So I know a fan favorite, and personally also a fan favorite of, is the Devil's Survivor games on the 3DS. So if they did either a remaster of the games for Switch or Devil's Survivor 3, that would be fantastic.
Or, you could just release 1 and 2 and then release 3. That might be a lot of work, though. But I really hope that we see Digital Devil Saga come here.
Those games are good. Yeah. Those games, I think they have a good chance because they just have to do whatever they did with SMT3.
Except make it actually run. But that's a story for another day. Kuro, I want to thank you for being here. I think we got good conversation out of this. Any last thoughts, Kuro?
No, not really, but thank you so much for bringing me in again. Appreciate it.
Of course, man. And just so you guys know, this video is being made for early access to my patrons. I did set up a Patreon here recently. If you do donate $5, if you go to the $5 tier every month, you'll get early access to my weekly videos. Now, this doesn't include, bigger videos such as the Persona 4 video that I have coming out later in November, but it does include early access to my weekly content. So link is in the description. Thank you so much for joining me today, Kuro, and we'll see you guys later. King out.
Yeah.